Murph won't go down that route.
Why? What's Curtin done? Pretty good.
Well, the short thing is both of us are gonna be in Denver next week. And being that both of us are in Denver, instead of us recording on Saturday ahead of time, Quimby's gonna allow us to do a live show out there. So Murph, you get to put up with me a few weeks in a row here.
I love it.
You can't get rid of me. So next week in Denver, we are going to be doing our show, Bud Light Baseball Brunch. We hit the road as we'll be broadcasting live from Jackson's Lodo, right outside of Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Come on out and join us if you're down there, or if you're out there, if you live out there, if you're going out there for a trip like me and my wife are. Doors open up at 10 a.m. that morning. They open at 10 a.m. on game days. We will broadcast live from 11 to noon, which is 1 to 2 East Coast. So make sure everybody, here in the East Coast, we'll be on 1 to 2. Out there, we'll be on our normal time, 11 to noon, leading you into Phillies Rockies, 1:10 Mountain Time, 3:10 East Coast time. So make sure you guys change up when you're going to be tuning in for us. Also, Murph, this is now a couple times this week that you get to see me. We were hanging out on Thursday night. You had a tremendous event over there at Merriman's Pub in Pitman, New Jersey, for your foundation. I'm wearing the shirt today that I bought at the event. Phenomenal time, great time. Please give us a recap on the event. It's one of the few positives that we get from this week.
Yeah, you know what? We had the off day on what day was that? Thursday. And just a terrific night out there in Pitman. Thank you to all the folks that came out and were a part of it. We really did pack the place, and it was a terrific part of the visionary campaign that I'm working on for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Greater Philadelphia. We raised over $12,000 that night, which blew our expectations out of the water.
Insane.
Thank you for being there, partner. A lot of my Phillies partners were there as well. I mean, it was just a great night. A lot of hard work went into it. Kristen Lynn is over here. She's part of our team, and she was a big part of Merriman's the other night. And everything kind of came together that night, and it really was special. It was a really great night, and it just shows the kindness and the generosity of people all over the place. Folks came out that I hadn't seen in 20 years, that had seen on social media or seen the posters up around town, and they came out just to be a part of the event. So it was a terrific night, and I'm very grateful for everyone that was a part of it.
Oh, man, the Fanatic, Tom McCarthy, Ben Davis, John Kruk, Larry Anderson, Milt Thompson showed up later, Amy Fagul,
Ricky Bowe.
Ricky Bowe was out there. We told him to log her up a couple times. He's a great guy, even though we're Bud Light Baseball Brunch. But, if you watch the pregame and the postgame show, you know what we're talking about. It's just a lot of great people out there, a lot of great positive vibes. And, for those that couldn't make it on Thursday night, please give us the more ways for them to be able to donate to your fundraiser.
Yeah, so we have 4 weeks left in the campaign. It's over on June 8th, so we're a little bit more than halfway through at this point. The easiest way to donate is go onto my Twitter page, Jeeber Philly on Twitter, and the first tweet up there is pinned as a link to be able to donate. So if folks do want to donate to LLS, we certainly would appreciate it. Or you could just go on to LLS.org, click on the Visionary campaign, find my name, and you can go that way as well. So
my dad's already looking forward to next year. He says
a big winner.
He was. He did say though that he's next year he's going to take the next day off and he's going to do an Uber.
You know what? I might do the same. I didn't have a single thing to drink, and I think I still needed the next day off and an Uber as well. I was exhausted when it was all said and done. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome, man. Had a great time. Now, let's go ahead. Let's give away 2 tickets here. 2 tickets to Phillies Tigers on Monday, June 5th at 6:40 p.m. down here at Cincinnati Park. Murph, I'm in a bad mood after this week. Phillies baseball has been a thief of joy for me. Okay, thief of joy. They have portrayed the role of a villain in my life, along with the city of Boston, doing that to the city of Philadelphia so far this weekend. With that being said, I want to know the greatest movie villain of all time.
Yeah, that's again,
very broad,
but
we get more fun. We get more fun out.
Yeah, kind of cool. I have compiled a list, as I often do.
I do enjoy the list,
but I'll give you one right now, and I will tell you that I don't know all the characters' names, but people will know what I'm talking about. So my first villain, not necessarily number one on my list, but my first villain that came to mind was the guard in Shawshank Redemption. That guy, and I don't know his name, but everyone knows that movie, and everyone knows who I'm talking about. He almost runs Dufresne off the roof at one point when they're tarring the roof. He was a bad dude. He was a villain. And so I'm putting him on my list. He's one of my favorites.
All right. Hey, by the way, we haven't talked about this yet. I did watch Goodfellas during the offseason.
What?
I finally watched it.
And?
Goodfellas. I enjoyed it. I hated the ending.
Yeah, the ending gets a little.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement. But did you watch Godfather?
No, I have not. Listen, everybody knows I have a circle of movies that I like to watch. It's like the same realm of 50 over and over and over again. I did add Varsity Blues to my list. That's a very good movie. So I've taken 2 off. Eventually, at some point along the line, I will look to get Godfather taken off the list because I know that's what you recommend it. I will take care of that.
Well, I recommend it, and so does the rest of the world.
Well, so 1 and 2, but don't watch 3. Right? That's the standard. See, I do listen. It's just a matter of when do I have the time to do it. It won't be next weekend when I'm in Denver. For me, my favorite movie villain of all time, and listen, he's not a guy that's like killing anybody. Biff, Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
And what a complete and absolute butthead
One of your
that guy
favorite
is.
movies.
It's the very top. I mean, I enjoy it. It's my favorite trilogy. It's my favorite movie by far. But Biff, that guy right there, whether it's the 1985 Biff, the original 1985 Biff, the 1955 Biff, the 2015 Biff, Biff is the biggest butthead in movie history. He's my biggest villain for sure. Slash, do you have a good one for me? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, just for the acting and the legacy of it, I'm going to go Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big, superhero movie guy.
Neither am I,
but you know that.
Right.
You know that.
Oh, I certainly know him, and I certainly know what a performance it was. I actually did. I think I saw that one. I think that was one of the few that I've seen, and that popped into my mind as well.
Yeah,
that's good.
Is that
didn't make my list?
Didn't make your list. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let's speak of the people that are the thieves of joy this week as we go out of the box. After a 5-2 week a couple weeks ago and a 5-1 week just last week, the Phillies have dropped 6 in a row to now fall 4 games below 500. They fought all the way back in April to get themselves above the 500 mark, only now to fall down 4 games below 500. They are winless in the whole month of May, which is not, April showers bring May flowers. There have been no flowers except definitely ones for the Phillies in the month of May. And we are now sitting 8 games behind the Braves in National League East, although we're only 1 game behind the Marlins for third, and we're 2 games behind the Mets, who have struggled this week as well. I want to choose to start out with the positive here, Murph, because we did have the return of Bryce Harper this week. Who's now played in 4 games. I know we've been talking about it the whole month of April. When's he going to be back? Is it going to be the end of May? Is it going to be the beginning of May? Is it going to be May 5th when we're back here at Citizen Bank Park? You brought it up on last week's show. Hey, why wait? If he gets approved on Monday, and guess what? He was in the lineup on Tuesday. I mean, the guy is just absolutely, outside of his first start, where he was 0 for 4 against Julio Urias and 3 strikeouts, turned the cover off the ball, hitting 375, 6 hits, 2 doubles, 4 runs scored, 2 walks, and his first home run of the season last night, which kind of reminded you of Bedlam at the bank.
Yeah, pretty much hit the same spot.
Yeah, right. High fastball away as he goes to the left. He goes to the left field stands. Talk about Bryce Harper. I know you're around the team every day. The vibes with Bryce Harper being back around the Phillies clubhouse and being a contributor on the field.
Yeah, I got a chance to sit down with Bryce I guess it was that Tuesday in LA that he was coming back. And, Bryce is such a thoughtful interview. When you sit with Bryce and you go one-on-one with him, get a chance to kind of really connect, he is the kind of guy that listens to those questions and then really tries to give you the answer with some thoughtfulness, which isn't always the case.
The opposite of Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. He's not a cliche kind of guy. So sitting with Bryce and talking to him, you could just sense the excitement for him. Here he is. He's a veteran of 9 seasons in the big leagues, and longer actually, I guess, at this point. A 30-year-old guy. He's done just about everything in the game, and you could just see how excited he was to be back in uniform with this team and getting ready to play, which I appreciate so much because it would be easy to just kind of throw your hat down and say, yeah, now I'm back, and go through the motions. But Bryce isn't that guy, and that's what makes him a special kind of player. So in talking with him and talking about being back with the guys and now having an opportunity to actually contribute. He's been around this entire season. He's been with the team, he's traveled with the team, but he hasn't been able to contribute. And the excitement level for him to be able to contribute It was really off the charts, and I love that. And to your point, they ran into Urias the first game, and he was filthy. I mean, no one was hitting Urias that night, and Bryce was one of those people. But since then, he has really turned it on, and it's really remarkable when you think about it. For 100 years, baseball guys get hurt, and when they come back, they go down to the minor leagues and they play 4 or 5 games, and they get 20 at bats or whatever. Not Bryce Harper, right? I mean, this brand new idea of, hey, let's just get him some work up here against some of our pitchers, and he'll be ready to go. Not everyone can do what he does, but he gets out there on the field, and you just said his numbers. He's productive right away. It's really kind of cool to be able to watch greatness like that at that level. And, this team is only going to be better with Bryce Harper in the lineup. We know that. And we're starting to see that. It hasn't translated into wins yet since it's been back, but it will. It will, for sure.
This kind of leads into some things that tick me off about Major League Baseball is why do we have to petition for that moment that he got to have on Friday night? I mean, can't we read the room just a little bit here and just let the home plate umpire has to be aware of this? I mean, and why is this now such a thing? Because Cody Bellinger, when he went home to Los Angeles, they gave him an automatic strike when they were acknowledging
which was
him.
ridiculous.
That bat.
Yeah.
Why does this have to be petitioned? Why do we have to do such a thing? Read the room, Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred, home plate umpires, you guys should know better as well with those situations. That was a special moment that he deserved. And now, on top of that, it's like he had to run the bases the other day without the brace on his elbow.
So for me, they're two different things. Your original point, they've taken it out of the hands of the home plate umpire. So you can't put it on the home plate umpire. I think if you ask the umpires, they would say, yeah, we got it.
Get out there, sweep the plate.
Exactly. Chris Sale, he's a pro. He walked off the back of the mound. Allow that to happen.
Yeah.
The idea of having to petition for it is ridiculous. However, the Phillies did the right thing. They did it. They got the time. It was a nice moment. The brace is another issue. And, I get why folks.
Did he get a different one over the last few days? Because the one that he was going to put on in Los Angeles looked more like bionic.
No, I don't
compared
think
to the one, I just didn't know if he got a simpler one done, over the day off on Thursday as compared to what I saw.
No, it's the same brace that he used last year as well.
Oh, okay.
And he was comfortable with it, so he wanted to use the same one. So I'm assuming it's the same one. I haven't noticed a change. But, this idea that one player can get a little extra time, it's a slippery slope, I guess is the best way to say it.
You're right.
Where do you draw the line? Bryce is a superstar, and you want to keep him healthy, and you want to. So they're all like, "Hey, let him put his brace on." But then what about the 240 journeyman player that also is coming back from injury?
Jay Cave.
So do you allow a guy like Jay Cave to also get extra time? I feel like you have to if you're letting Bryce, and I think that's what they're trying to avoid. It's an imperfect system right now, the way it's set up with the clock. I personally like the time changes that we've had this year, but there are a lot of little things that pop up throughout the course of the season that make you think, all right, maybe we need to tweak this a little bit. And I think they will.
I mean, your job is to protect the players, and baseball is better when Bryce Harper is playing. So I don't care if it takes.
Yeah, that's the argument for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if it takes an extra 10 to 15 seconds.
You don't care.
You want him playing,
right?
Well, maybe the Mets and the Braves don't care if he's hurt, but
and that's
for the love of God, I do, and they would want the same respect in return for Acuna
but
and
yeah. Oh, but not for Brandon Nimmo. I mean, it's like, where do you draw the line?
He's a try-hard.
Where do you draw the line? And that's the question that I think is impossible to answer. So I think that's why they're not going down that route. And I get that. I do. If I'm Major League Baseball, I'm like, I'm not opening that can of worms, because the first guy we say no to, there's going to be an uproar.
Right.
Why is it good enough for him, but it's not good enough for me? You almost have to keep it a level playing field, despite the fact that Bryce is a uber superstar. And so I get it. It's not ideal. And I do think it's going to be tweaked. I do think we're going to see something happening over the course of the next year, maybe before next season. But I do think they'll work on trying to get it down.
I want to save our next topic for the top of the next segment. So I want to get into this real quick before we go to break. Ranger Suarez, he's slated to make his last rehab appearance today. I'm not sure. I'm guessing is he in AAA today?
He's in AAA.
So he's in AAA. So what is the pitch count limit that they're looking to get him to today? What are they looking at for his first start? I'm assuming it's going to be next week in Denver because they've already pulled Matt Strahm from the rotation. And I'm guessing with Taijuan Walker pitching today and you have 2 off days, that means Nola and Wheeler are going to line up to face the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So which means next week, Bailey Falter, Taijuan Walker, and Ranger Suarez are slated to go in Denver.
Yeah, well, they haven't announced the Colorado, lineup yet in terms of pitching. Yes, Nola and Wheeler here against Toronto. That has been announced. Ranger Suarez today, I want to say, and Rob did say this yesterday, and I'm hesitant to say the number because I'm not 100% sure if it was 45 or 65. I think it was 65 pitches. They're hoping maybe 4 innings, 65 pitches, thereabouts today in the Lehigh Valley. And really, at the end of the day, it's more about when he's finished. As long as he feels good tomorrow, they are going to add him back into the rotation for the Colorado series. By all accounts, that sounds like that's where they're headed. That's what's going to happen. God forbid he comes out of today's outing and doesn't feel good. Well, then we're back to square one. No one's anticipating that. He's been pretty solid coming out of each of his rehab starts so far. So you just have to believe that he's pretty much ready to go. So then when he gets to Colorado, he might be able to go 6 innings.
Maybe piggyback it with Matt Strahm.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, again, Rob was asked that yesterday, and he said, well, we really haven't thought about that yet specifically, but I do think that that's probably something we're going to see. And a guy like Jeff Hoffman as well, who I got a chance to talk to today. He's another guy that they might be able to use in a piggyback situation as well. But, Matt Strahm has been good for the most part as a starter this year. They just were so afraid that he was going to break down with all the work he's getting.
44 innings pitched so far this year.
He was a reliever over the last couple of years, so your body's not quite used to it. So they were afraid, so that's why they're pulling him back a little bit. But he's going to be a weapon out there. So put those 2 guys together, you might be able to get 6-7 innings in Colorado from those 2 guys. And if they're pitching well, that's a pretty good combination.
Real quick, Nick Nelson too. He's doing some rehab assignments down in AA. I think he was down in Reading. They're trying to stretch him out for a starter role. Does that put Bailey Falter a little bit on thin ice here with an 0-6 start? Couldn't get out of the 4th yesterday.
Yeah. So Bailey, was an odd outing for Bailey. Got the first 90 faced in order, and then kind of really fell apart.
Second time through the lineup.
He was asked about it last night. He said, I really don't know what happened. And he just lost command in the 4th inning and could not find it. Is he on thin ice? Yeah, I think you probably have to believe the Phils are going to have to think about mixing things up if it stays that way. Rob was asked that last night. He said, at this point, he's scheduled to make his next start. They haven't talked about not having Bailey make his next start. I do think his 0-6 record is a little deceptive. Early in the season, he pitched 2 or 3 games that he easily could have won. The team ended up not winning, and he didn't get either. Well, he took the loss in those games. So it's a little unfair to look at his record 0-6 and be like, this guy's been terrible. His last 2 outings have not been good. And Bailey will be the first to tell you that. But he also has had some pretty good starts this year. So I look at the record and I kind of push that aside. But he needs to be better. He needs to be more consistent is what he needs to do.
Correct. Hey, don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders with Sexy Entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jameson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit more Phillies, and then we're going to dive into some subjects from around the league that have happened over the last week or 2 in Major League Baseball, right here on 102.5 Fox Sports St. Louis. This is Bud Light Baseball Brunch. We'll be right back after this.
Nice. How long is this? 3:30. You have a best villain here?
Johnny after eating Taco Bell.
Yeah. Stomach.
That was just a good one.
I don't know that.
That is The Avengers.
Yeah, I don't like those movies.
I'm with Murph.
My girlfriend Kristen loves all that stuff, and I'll come home and she'll be watching it, and I sit there for 5 minutes, and I'm like, this is so stupid.
I'm with you on that.
I just don't. I mean, look, everybody likes what they like, and that's fine.
I know Marvel's gotten like ridiculously dumb.
Well, it's gotten horrible because why? I mean, the main stars, the main characters are no longer involved, right? I mean, they killed off Iron Man, and then Captain America went back in time, and then he became this old dude. So now they'd be like, you're two biggest, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are no longer involved. I do enjoy Scarlett Johansson in that.
That's nice.
And that, yeah.
Just grown men.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get it, but okay.
And then you have some that dress up to go see the premiere.
All right, so confession time. All right, so
Don't tell me you dressed up to go.
no. We're coming back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No. Episode
You're gonna tell the damn
three. Episode 3. Revenge of the Sith. Me and all my buddies dressed up like a character. I dressed up like Mace Windu, which is Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Okay. You didn't do.
And we got into a giant lightsaber battle in the United Artists parking lot in Washington Township.
Okay.
Over 100 people. I destroyed this thing too.
Did you feel like a superhero that night?
You went home and he's like, I am the superhero.
That was before, I'm popular with the ladies at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. I'm saying after that. After that. But none of the girls that were
After
there.
they saw your lightsaber work.
Intense.
Confessions.
Yeah, not my thing.
I thought we were in the trust tree.
No.
Murph's taking notes.
No, I'm
Need a new
following my
co-host.
list. Now I have 5. Mine are.
Russ said the shark.
We getting some good traction on that?
We just have Russ and Adam going back and forth trying to outdo each other. I do have some notes.
Okay.
I'm gonna text it when the time approaches.
My dad texted me one, but obviously he doesn't follow.
Stop, dude. That movie was so bad. You don't know. You thought Black Phone was a good movie.
I've never heard of it.
I trust Jansen more because Jansen is the only dude / loser that I know that will see 3 or 4 movies on a Saturday in a row.
I love movies. Yeah, I like good movies.
How about Sean Grace in the commercial? That's my favorite villain. All right, here we go.
Welcome back, second segment here. Yes, and Jansen from time to time gets it right. 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler, Bud Light Baseball Brunch down here in the epicenter of the sports complex in South Philadelphia, where the Phillies take on the Boston Red Sox today at 105.
Speaking of villains,
right across the street is another villain in and of itself. The Boston Celtics take on the Philadelphia 76ers. What a day in South Philadelphia. Hopefully it's been better than the last couple of days here in the sports complex. But let's talk about our friends at Premier Window Cleaning. They are the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience. They offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check. At Premier Window Cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of their services, give them a call, 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or head to their website, WeHateDirtyWindows.com. That's WeHateDirtyWindows.com. Can I know we just did confession time during break, where we were talking about, movies.
Only
Dress
one
up
of us
for
did
them.
confession.
Only one of us did confession time. I will say this: I'm happy to have Slash back at the table this week. I don't care. Quimby's definitely not listening to the podcast of our show, but I will admit I love having Slash down here. It's a lot more comfortable.
Opposite of me.
Yes,
I'm a hero.
He is
Not all heroes work games.
not at all. I'm excited to have Slash back down here. All right, let's continue on the baseball conversation. I just want to clean up, just one more topic with you, Murph. I know we were talking about this coming in, and for those of you that actually you weren't on StreamYard at the time, go to our StreamYard. By the way, best movie villain. You guys can win 2 tickets for Monday, June 5th, Phillies Tigers to return to hit Mayton and Matt Beerley. And they'll be receiving their national championship rings that night. So you guys want to be here for the standing ovation. I'm hoping Mayton makes it because Mayton, although he leads the Tigers in home runs with 4, which is pretty pathetic. He's batting like 157. It was the last I saw when I was checking yesterday. Lineup construction. Everybody's an expert. Okay, I see it every single day on Twitter, and mind you, I laugh at it. Like Stott takes his second day off the other day, and people are up in arms. He should be playing every day. I mean, he's batting 200 over his last 50 at bats. I mean, give the guy a breather, a mental breather, more than anything. But I want to talk about this, Murph, because I look at the lineup construction, and this is just from my end. I know we have a different lineup today. Bryson Stott's leading off, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber's now batting 5th, JT, Bohm, Sosa towards the back end of the lineup there. For years, the Phillies, golden era of Phillies baseball, went lefty. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, batting 3-4 for years. And guess what? We had a lot of success doing it. It worked. It definitely worked. I don't understand why we signed Trey Turner to be our leadoff hitter, but the experiment lasts 1 week. And for me, the perfect prototypical number 2 home hitter on this team is Bryson Stott. I mean, he will battle. He will see pitches. He will put it to the left side. If Turner gets on base or he hits a double and he's on second base, he'll hit it to the right side and move him up to third base with 1 out. With Bryce Harper and Castellanos coming up. I don't understand why we're so reluctant to go left in this lineup when it actually benefits you the most, having Turner, Stott, and then Bryce Harper as your 1-2.
It's all around baseball. The lefty-righty matchups. It's something that is considered at all times by managers, by coaches, in not only in the lineup construction, but in late inning situations. That's why guys pitch it late in games, to get a better matchup. Whether or not, certainly the numbers, they play it out that you have a little bit more success against the opposite arm. But there are players, and Bryson Stott seems to be developing into one that can hit righties and lefties, no matter what side they're standing on the plate. Brandon Mark has shown this year that he can hit righties and lefties. And so, I do think there's a lot of attention given to it. I think your point's a good one. That said, I also believe that this idea of the importance of, getting the lineup just right is a little overblown. The Phillies aren't winning games right now because the pitching hasn't been working. And
worst ERA in the National League, and the only 3 teams that are worse than them are the White Sox, the A's, and I had another one on here. Yeah, the White Sox, the Royals, and the A's are the only 3 with the worst ERA in all baseball.
So that is why, not because Kyle Schwarber's been leading off, or not because Brock Thompson has decided to keep the lineup lefty, righty. Those kinds of things are minor things. If you get Aaronola to go out there and pitch 8 innings and allow 3 hits and 1 run, you're going to win games no matter if you had 4 righties at the top and 3 lefties following that. It doesn't matter. That kind of stuff doesn't matter. The idea about leadoff guy, it happens once a game. Anybody could be a leadoff hitter in any inning other than the first. So I think there's a lot of talk about that kind of stuff because we need things to talk about, but it's probably less important. There's probably too much attention paid to that kind of thing. I'm totally with you in regards of, put 2 lefties back to back and be fine with that. The idea is that, late in the game, they bring in a tough lefty, they have the advantage. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
But really isn't an advantage if both Bryson Stott and Bryce Harper can hit left-handed pitching?
Well, and that's the argument against. And again, the numbers would probably bear it out that splitting them is a better strategy. and that's why people do it. But I wonder just how big of an advantage is it? You know, is it a slight advantage or is it a mega advantage? And it probably depends on the hitter, right? I mean, there are some left-handed hitters that can't hit left-handed pitches, and you don't want them anywhere in that row. But then there's other guys, as we mentioned, that have shown that they're everyday guys and they can have success against same-handed pitchers. So, again, I think we talk about it a lot in the media because that's what we do, and that's okay. It's fun. It's part of what it is to be a fan and to dissect. But at the end of the day, you need to pitch better, you need to catch the baseball, and you need to come up big in big situations. And that's how you win games. And the rest of it probably doesn't mean it.
Two players real quick before we go around the league. Kyle Schwarber, they moved him back into the leadoff spot back on Tuesday when Bryce returned. 0 for 19 in that span, 7 strikeouts. Can't wait for June Schwarber. I mean, we got another month to get through here, but we need him to pick it up and get himself going. Zach Wheeler, to me, he's struggling to get through the 6th inning. He hasn't made it into the 7th yet this season. They're fouling off a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
What are we noticing? Like, I noticed he's kind of been topping out at 97, 98 is because he can't hit that 99, 100. That's kind of causing him not to spot and hit where he wants to in the zone. That's allowing the opposition to foul off more pitches and build up his pitch count. Schwarber and Wheeler, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so my thoughts on both are they're probably both going to be just fine. I'm a little surprised about Schwarber and the average where he is right now. I really thought, with the rule changes that he was going to have a distinct advantage and then his average was going to be significantly better. I thought 20, 30 points better at this point in the year. That has not been the case. He's still striking out an awful lot. He was out for extra work yesterday, really kind of working on trying to keep his hands inside the baseball, and he was hitting first off the tee, which you rarely see out on the field. He was hitting off the tee on the field yesterday, hitting everything to left field, and then he was turning and trying to do the same soft toss and that kind of thing. I think Kyle's going to be fine because he's a good player. But, yeah, I agree with you. You can't wait until June for Kyle to get hot. They need him to start, kind of contributing a little bit more. So hopefully he can. Zach Wheeler, to me, again, I think he's going to be fine too. And we saw flashes of the Zach Wheeler we know in Houston, and he was really good in Houston. And then he kind of took a little bit of a step back in the second to start in
Red Sox.
Oh, the first game against the Sox. So, again, Zach Wheeler is too talented. The change in velocity to me, again, it's one of those things that we kind of point to. If you're throwing 97, 98 and spotting up your fastball, you're going to get guys out left and right. It's when you can't command the fastball. Major league hitters can hit 97, 98 and not over the middle of the plate. They're going to hit it all the time.
Right.
And so if he's not able to command those pitches, that's what we see with Aaron as well. If you can't do that on a consistent basis, they're going to get hurt. And I think we've seen that out of Zach Wheeler this year. Am I worried about him? No, I'm not. I'm not overly concerned about Trey Turner. I'll put him on the list too. I'm not concerned about him either. I think all of those guys are going to figure it out. But again, sooner rather than later, because you don't want to get too far behind after what you did last year. This momentum coming, right?
You know who I don't want to figure it out? Because I enjoy this thoroughly. Okay, we had this conversation last season, and we had it again in St. Louis. That Friday, they're up 2-0. They blow the game. We're at, me and you were at Game 2 out in St. Louis, and remember when we met up before the game, and I said I came here to make sure that Pujols and Molina were retiring that night because they destroyed the golden era of Phillies baseball in 2011. So I wanted to make sure that both of them were riding off into the sunset on my terms.
Yeah.
Okay. I went there just for that. I felt really good about that. You know what makes me feel even better? Is I think it was a complete and absolute death of the St. Louis Cardinals as a franchise.
I am shocked by it.
10-24, worst record in the National League, 10 games out of first place. And they're now Wilson Contreras signed there to be the heir apparent to Yadier Molina. 5 years, $87.5 million. And now he's going to be the DH, playing an occasional corner outfield spot, and maybe from time to time he might get back behind the plate. the train wreck that has become the St. Louis Cardinals. I haven't had much to smile about this week, but for the love of God, good luck trying to remove it from my face because I have waited a long time for this to happen. And I think Oliver Marmol right now is starting to feel the heat build up in the kitchen. Huge.
Yeah, I don't think he's got much longer, honestly. I'd be surprised if they went a whole lot longer without making a change at the top because it's the only thing you can do, right? You can't change out all the players. We saw that last year. You know, you make a change, you have a different voice, and maybe things change. I will say this, Zach. I am not sold on the depth of the St. Louis Cardinals. It would not shock me if they make a run and finish second in that division.
They might do it now because I brought it up.
I think they probably will. I think they're the second best team. I'm pretty sure in our picks this year I had Milwaukee winning that division, but I think I had the Cardinals making the postseason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had the Cardinals winning the division.
Right. I still think the Cardinals probably make the postseason.
It's a bad division.
Yeah.
It's a bad division. I mean, the Pirates have been getting smacked around this week too.
Yeah, plus 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden. So look, I'm not sold that it's the
They shouldn't have demoted Drew Magic. They should have just left him up.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. Bad juju.
Yeah. You take away the magic and the magic, and that's what happens. But you know, it's it talked to me at the end of July, and we'll see where the Cardinals are. Because I have a feeling they're going to figure it out, and I do think it's going to come with a managerial change.
It's got to.
I think it probably will, and you know whether
He's on borrowed time.
Right. It's probably not his fault, but that's just the way.
Absolutely. And then real quick before we go to break, White Sox reliever / all-star closer Liam Hendricks, he pitched a scoreless inning in his return, his first minor league rehab game since beating cancer the other day. Pretty cool stuff. I know. Hey, listen, they're wearing a T-shirt today. You know, we're looking to strike out blood cancer on our end here on Bud Light Baseball Brunch, and you know, with your fundraiser, it's really cool to see these guys succeed and come back and do what they love doing.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what his treatment program was like, but you know, for a guy that went through chemotherapy and to know what it does to your body, you know, these are the best athletes in the world. But hey, you know, you're no match for when your body's getting just pummeled by, you know, chemicals to kill the cancer. I mean, that's the way it works. You need it. But for him to bounce back the way he has, and be able to be back in the big leagues and have success in the big leagues, my God, a tip of the cap to him. I've been following that story, and it just makes me feel great to see him succeed like that. So he's been a great voice for the fight against cancer, and you know, he's constantly putting his story out there, which for some people is hard, and but not for him. And I think it's been great, and to see him succeed. He certainly is a guy I'm rooting for as he moves forward in his career. So yeah, fun stuff for sure.
Absolutely. You know what else is great? Ludlum Hotel in Seattle City. Yes, we're a few weeks away from Memorial Day weekend. You guys want to go down to the Ludlum Hotel in Seattle City at 4000 Landis Avenue in Seattle City. Yes, it is the Ola Costa, and the Ola Costa lemonade is delicious. You guys got to check them out at ludlumhotel.com. That's Ludlum, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829. All your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions, the Ludlam Hotel, Ludlam Bar and Grill, your new oasis in Seattle City. Coming up in our final segment, we're going to award the tickets for the best movie villain. We're going to look at what our picks were last week. How did we make out? How are we going to do this week? We'll find out all along with Can You Believe It? Right here. Bud Light Baseball Brunch on 102.5 Fox Sports again. We'll be right back after this.
How long is this?
Nice. My wife's birthday.
Yeah, we didn't get much trash.
I also know what else it's for.
We didn't get much trash.
Hey, I'm in Denver next week, so I know how it's going to go.
135 first pitch, right?
I think it's 105. They've got away from the 135, right?
I think it's more. Yeah, 35. Murph, you also dropped that as.
Oh, my battery guy. All right.
Tune into the iHeart app.
That's right.
Some of those ones at the bottom are just what Russ and
Are you doing about?
yeah. I'm like, might as well just,
So I got any traction.
That's how I retweeted.
How are you?
And,
Everyone good? Yeah. Good to see you. How are you guys? Good. Yeah, we need it. Say that again. They started to pop one by one. Yeah, we got them out by the 8th inning. It was pretty crazy. It was fun. Yeah. We should all look that good at 7. Oh, happy birthday.
And it's funny because every time I was in Houston, they're here in May. We
So,
all
like,
Celebrate together. There you go.
on my 7th.
I was a little disappointed in the Fanatic that he didn't bring in the big bucket of popcorn.
I think he knew better.
We had the silly stick.
Silly string in the face,
Silly
right?
string was good.
What are you eating? On your trip?
What's that?
What are you going on your trip?
Friday morning. So we'll be 9 rows behind the Phillies dugout on Friday night.
Never been out there.
Well, listen, once Oakland moves to Vegas, that's one less ballpark on my list because I've got Oakland. Denver will be number 20 active. That's what we're talking about next week in our second segment. I want your top 10 ballparks, whether they're active or not. We'll banter about because they also have the baseball stadium museum there.
Great, Colorado.
Yeah, right. It's actually right by Coors Field. I think I'm going to try and check that out on Saturday. Wrigley's my one. Yeah, Wrigley's one. I loved Old Yankee Stadium. That's my 2. I love PNC's my favorite modern day ballpark. Love PNC. They're there at the end of July if you guys can make it out on a weekend. 1 minute. Hey man, 2 each their own. Have fun. I don't like the fact that they now break it up into stages. I hate that crap. I miss the old days where you used to just drive around, man. Drive around.
Great one of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, racing.
Yeah. They're like monster trucks. I didn't get to take them
I
this
used
year.
to love NASCAR. I don't really follow it that much anymore.
Yeah.
I covered NASCAR for years. Oh, yeah. Back in the Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace days. Jeff Gordon. No, Jimmy was there at the tail end. He was just starting to win. He was winning the cup.
coming back.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Final segment here on this beautiful Sunday in the Delaware Valley. Bud Light Baseball Brunch, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. Make sure you guys check out E&J Mobile Cigar Lounge. They can be found on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at E&J Mobile Cigar Lounge. Our website, or their website, is www.ejmobilecigarlounge.com. They come to you for any occasion and event, and they are the premier luxury mobile cigar and hookah lounge in the Philadelphia area. Call or text EJ at 215-806-3999.
That's a cool concept.
Dude, it is. Yeah. Yo, you know what? I was really surprised about it because when we went to Eagles Giants up in Meadowlands back in December, we're walking up to the stadium and there's this big, like, mobile truck van with cigars. Like, we need this in Philadelphia. Lo and behold, our very next tailgate, when we hooked it up, and we do have one. So I had a couple of cigars out
You're a
Saturday
cigar
last
guy.
night. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It was beautiful last night. Shorts, t-shirt, fire pin, had my feet kicked up. I wanted to listen to you guys do the post game. I was just too annoyed, so I just was listening to classic rock.
We were also pretty annoyed.
Yes. I will say this though: the best is when you guys do the Friday night roundtable. It is a blast.
Yeah, we have some fun.
Yes, you guys do.
Sometimes we get ourselves in trouble.
All right, let's award some tickets here. Best movie villain. Murph, give me your top 5.
All right, so mine are a little eclectic, a little all over the place, but these are just people that I'm speaking about in movies or television that just Tate, right? That's the villain. So
Absolutely.
I already gave you the guard from Shawshank. I wish I could remember his name. I'm sure if there's something.
You do know there's a thing called Google
yeah,
on your phone?
Yeah, I do.
You could have put that.
I could, but I'm just going to go with the guard.
Just on the same page.
Everyone knows that. All right, how about Drago from Rocky?
That's a good one. Rocky 4, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Wonderlang, he was a villain early, and neither was Apollo, but Drago, he was a villain.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so I'm putting in
I'm just glad you didn't go Tommy Gunn because he sucks.
That's like Godfather first. I don't even count that one. All right, the principal from the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
He was a villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never watched the Breakfast Club. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. I can see his face right now.
You and I are gonna have that.
Are we having a movie night? Can we invite Jansen?
Of course we can.
No.
Jansen's got nothing else to do.
All right, finally, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just because when I was a kid, I couldn't sleep for a whole week, so I'm putting him on there as a villain. And then finally, for folks that watch Ted Lasso and the current one, Nate, the coach of the team coach. But Nate, he used to be the assistant coach for Ted, and he's just a bad dude.
I love your top 5 this week. Nate, that guy, don't know the dude in Shawshank,
And everybody knows
guard.
what I'm talking about. They're my top.
You know who I had sleepless nights about when I was younger? When my grandmother loved The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Wicked Witch of the West. She loved her. I thought that woman lived in my closet.
She's a good villain too.
I had a bunk bed with my brother, and I was on the top bunk, and the ladder to get on the top bunk was by the closet. So I used to just jump off my brother's mattress and jump up on top bunk because I thought she would come out and rip me in the closet. Yeah.
The monkeys too. You see, the monkeys, they scared the heck out of me.
Oh, terrible.
All right.
All right, let's award these tickets so we don't have to conjure up more bad memories. Hopefully the Phillies and Sixers can give us good memories today. For the love of God, I need it. I'm shaving my head today because in front of my head and all stuff, the spot, where I'm going bald. The Phillies and the Sixers are driving me to that road.
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. Damn you, Boston. All right. Palpatine from Star Wars. Alonzo Harris, Training Day. Jack Nicholson's version of the Joker in the original Batman. Shooter McGavin. Dr. Evil. Hannibal Lecter. Sid from Toy Story. My dad put this one out there. Captain Byron Hadley.
Okay.
Oh, that's the Mean Guard in Shawshank.
Oh, yeah,
there you go. My dad Googled it for you.
Thank you.
He did what you should have did before the show. And Hans Gruber.
Oh, another good one. Yeah. Who was right before the Toy Story one?
Hold on, I gotta go back to Slash's text message. All right, Hannibal Lecter.
I'm gonna go on that list. I'm gonna go Hannibal Lecter. Okay. Pretty evil villain. So yeah, go with it.
All right, Slash. I'm gonna take Alonzo Harris from Training Day.
My favorite movie of all time.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're going Alonzo Harris.
All right, there you
All right,
go.
congrats to Russ Taylor, who was in my neck of the woods last night at PJ Wellahan's in Maple Shade and didn't even bother to shoot me a text or call me.
Wow.
Just to invite me out. But it's okay. It's all right. We're going to try and make money for him.
We disconnected. Yeah. I just got to reboot. We're back up. It's just,
Okay. Murph's got time today. You got an extra half hour.
It's that the knife I just decided to reset.
You got an extra half hour.
Well, it's not an extra half hour. 135 is the
It's 105. They changed it over the years.
They have changed it over the years, but for my first 7-8 years as a coach,
Yeah.
always
I'm
was
pretty-
135.
Yeah.
It was 135.
Yeah, it was 130.
I don't know why the neck
I think there's 135. I kind of like that.
I like that
It's a
too.
little more.
Well, I stopped. I'm reconnecting. This is just
But we're not on that. Just keep talking. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go Alonzo Harris there for Training Day for Russ Taylor.
You know, I gotta rewatch that because I definitely saw Training Day. Who is that? That's
That's 10
That's
cents.
a watch.
Yeah. It's been a while for me too.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that.
You don't have a sub.
I said it's his favorite movie of all time.
Okay,
Wow,
that's my stuff.
that's saying something.
They said I'm
I'm gonna put that on my list.
didn't Denzel? Didn't they wind up? Didn't he win the Oscar for that? The best actor.
I don't know.
Hang on.
We got it up?
I might watch it on the airplane out to Colorado.
You guys ready to go back up?
I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
All right, so I'm going to try and make sure that I win people money this week, and you did as well last week.
I did all right.
You bounced back 2-1. You almost went 3-0 last week. Okay, and I told you before the show why. Do you remember what I told you?
7 runs in the ninth inning.
The Rays were up 9-5, bottom 9 in Chicago against the White Sox, and they give up 7 runs to the White Sox. I think it was Jake Berger hit a 3-run shot to be a walk-off to win.
That's hard to swallow.
You know what, Clarence? It's okay. It's all right.
It's not, but okay. But I'll take 2.
2-1. You got your underdog, so you got 3 points out of that. Okay. I went 2-1 as well, and got another 3 points. I hit the underdog Nationals. I told you that looked too good, too juicy right there. And the over/under. So I'm now 6-3 with 8 points on the season. You're 4-5 with 5 points.
All right.
Give me your first pick for the day.
All right, so today I'm going with my favorite would be the Blue Jays over the Pirates. The Pirates, as we talked about, have lost 5 games in a row after really kind of shocking Major League Baseball the way they came out of the game and played this season. But it's beginning to look like the Pirates are turning back into the Pirates, which is, again, often what happens. So I'm going to take the Blue Jays over the Pirates. Toronto is -130. Give me them as my favorite.
The curse of Drew Maggi. It is real. It is real. My favorite this week is the Mariners, -135 at home versus the Astros. They had, this is why I'm going with it, the momentum is on their side. They lost Friday night to the Astros at home. The Astros were up 3-0 in the 8th inning. Had 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th when the Mariners went 7 2-out runs in the 8th inning to knock off the Astros. So for me, I'm going with momentum side here.
All right.
Mariners -135 at home versus the Astros.
All right, so next up for me is my underdog, the Texas Rangers and the LA Angels. The Texas Rangers are a pretty good team, first and foremost.
Yes.
And you know, they've got Martin Perez on the hill today. He's a pretty good pitcher.
4-1 with a 2.41 ERA.
And the Angels are just like, the Angels are decent, but
You think they're going to go to the playoffs?
I did. But they're playing like they always do. So, that's probably not going to work out for me. I'm going to take the Rangers because they're underdogs, and I can't figure out why. So I'm taking the Rangers as a dog today over the Angels.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's my underdog pick as well. Martin Perez at plus money, 4-1 with a 2.41 ERA. I'm sorry. It's too. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe this is what Vegas is trying to do.
Yeah, maybe.
But it looks too good right there, right for the picking. So I'm going to go with that one as well. You're over under.
I'm not going to lie. I like when we match up and I'm on the same side as you because then I feel like it's so great. Because I'm not good at this gambling thing. I don't do it for her. All right. Finally,
You won in 2021. I won in 2022.
Yeah, I know.
This season's the grudge match.
Yeah, it is the grudge. You're the villain, by the way. In this particular.
Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
Look, all right. I knew when we were going to do this show that I was going to have to be the Diaz-related villain on Green Legion Radio, Bud Light Baseball Brunch, because there was no way that you were going to rip the team or say anything negative.
That's not true.
No,
I will rip the team.
no, but you're not going to go where I'll go,
No.
where I've gone. So
No,
I knew all along I was the villain of the show, and I embrace it all day long.
You wear it.
I do. I have to because I'm the good guy on regular Green Legion Radio because Diaz is the bad guy. So here, I got to be that.
There you go. All right, final pick for me. I'm staying here in South Philadelphia. I'm taking the Phillies Red Sox over 9.5. No, yeah.
The Phillies are going to win 2-1.
You know what? And I'm totally fine with that. I don't care if I don't hit my over 9.5 as long as the Phillies win. I do think a lot of runs will be scored today. Hopefully, it's like an 8-2 Phillies win. 10-0. I think that too. But over 9.5 today in South Philadelphia.
All right, I'm going to go over 9 Brewers Giants today in San Francisco. This is Adrian Houser's first start of the season. Ross Stripling with his 6.1 ERA and 6 home runs allowed. I think there's going to be some runs scored in San Francisco today. So that's my final pick. Can you believe it? Never gets old. Love it every time we get to hear it. Can you believe it's out there? All right, Murph, 2 things that we found interesting in Major League Baseball from this last week. Give me your first.
All right, noted home run slugger, Wilmer Flores. Have you seen this one?
Is he going to the Hall of Fame?
He now has 9 pinch hit home runs since the start of 2016. That's 2 more than anybody else in Major League Baseball. Wow. Wilmer Flores.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're going to pinch hit, you got to kind of be on the leniency of average to suck. So,
It's just, there are a lot of guys that I would think would be better than Wilmer Flores if he hit 2 home runs over the years. That's from Sarah Langs, and I thought it was interesting. There you go.
Sarah Langs is awesome. Because my first one is also courtesy of Sarah Langs. Justin Verlander became the 8th multi-time Cy Young winner to pitch for the Mets. That's the most of any franchise. He joins Tom Glavine, Pedro Martinez, Brett Severhagen, Johan Santana, Tom Seaver, Jacob DeGrom, and Max Scherzer.
Pretty good list for him.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah, all right. And then we know the Red Sox are right hot right now. They've won 8 in a row, including the 2 here in the first 2 games here in Philadelphia.
They get into that.
Before they got to Philly, they were in Toronto. And how about this? The number for the Red Sox offense in the Blue Jays series: they had 58 hits, 32 runs, 12 doubles, 9 home runs, and 9 stolen bases in that series against the Blue Jays. The last MLB team to reach all of those numbers in a single series was the New York Giants against the Phillies at the Baker Bowl back in 1921. No, the baseball Giants. Yeah.
I was going Chris Berman on that.
So there you go. Are you kidding? So obviously the Baker Bowl, 1921.
I'm just glad they're not doing that to us this week.
Well,
Yeah. Still got one more to go. Pretty cool story. Masataka Yoshida. Okay, he got to meet Bryce Harper yesterday. He's a baseball hero. He named his dog after him. Bryce will come up with some pretty cool swag. Japanese-born players with a 15-game hitting streak. Okay, so he's done it one time. He's currently on a 15-game hitting streak. The other guys on this list: So Taguchi did it one time. Shohei Ohtani has done it one time. Nori Aoki 2 times. Hideki Matsui 3 times. If you name the guy at the top of the list, he did it quite often. Japanese born players. Ichiro 16 times. So Yoshida's got quite a bit to catch up.
Yeah, Ichiro, he was pretty special. But I'll tell you what, this kid can hit.
Yeah, he can.
Just watching him, he makes contact over and over and over again. He puts the ball in play almost every time. Rarely strikes out. That's how you get. Sometimes they bleed through. Sometimes the rockets into the outfield. But that's how you put a hit streak together, is by making contact. He's been pretty impressive. He's been fun to watch.
I think he batted with like 440 in the World Baseball Classic. Insane. All right, Murph, look at the week ahead for the Phillies, trying to get off the schneid today against the Boston Red Sox. Day off tomorrow. 2 games at home with the Blue Jays. Nola and Wheeler starting both of those games. Another day off on Thursday, and then me and you are in Denver next weekend. Again, make sure you guys check us out. We will be on from 11 to noon at Jackson's Lodo. Doors open up at 10 a.m. If you live in Denver or if you're visiting Denver, come on out, hang out with us for the show. Again, the broadcast is going to be 2 hours ahead here, so it's going to be 1 to 2 here on East Coast time. So check us out in Denver. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait to cross off Coors Field. What do you got for this week?
Well, obviously it doesn't get any easier. You've got one more with the Red Sox, 2 against the Blue Jays. 2 teams that are playing really good baseball right now. With that said, Phillies, they have the talent to win all 3 of those games. They have to go out there and play to their ability. They have not done that over the past week. They need to change that around. It needs to happen beginning today. So hopefully they win today, take at least 1 out of 2 from the Blue Jays, and then head off to Colorado, a team that you really should. Phillies have not played
Rockies have been playing well lately.
Yeah, but I don't believe in the Rockies.
I mean, it's better this weekend that they're playing well because they're playing the Mets.
Good. Well, okay. Let them play well.
Just one more win today, and then you can lose for a couple days.
But, the Phillies haven't played well historically in Colorado. But that's okay. So, anyway, I think get out on the road and hopefully start to build some momentum. San Francisco on the back end of that road trip as well. So, we'll see. But, again, starting pitching has to be better. Defense has to be better. And they need to start getting some clutch hits. That's how you win baseball games at the big league level. Phillies haven't done a whole lot of that of late.
Absolutely. All right, from the epicenter of the sports complex down here with the Phillies and Red Sox on at 1:35 and 3:30 Sixers Celtics, Philadelphia versus Boston. Let's try and get two today. I mean, it would be nice to take down the city of Boston. Let's make it happen. Slash right next to me producing here at Xfinity Live. My partner, Greg Murphy, and John Jansen back in studio. I'm Chris Sack. Like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard. We are out of here. We will see you guys next week from Jackson's Lodo in Denver, Colorado. Thanks, Johnny.
Nice job. That'll be fun next week.
Yeah, let's try and link up one of those nights.
Yeah.
You gonna be out either Friday or Saturday?
Probably not.
No?
Probably not. I just